When you are born into a role of responsibility, many things are expected of you. Expectations become part of your name, your every step watched, your every word weighed. But even then, or perhaps especially then, you realize something essential. Respect is never inherited. Excellence is never assumed. It must be earned, forged through effort, proven through action. And the same is true for every single one of you. Whether you were born with a title or with none at all, the world does not owe you recognition. It does not automatically open its arms to your greatness. You must make it impossible for the world to ignore you. You must be so good, so relentlessly disciplined, prepared and powerful in your purpose, that they cannot look away. This, I believe with every part of my being. Excellence is louder than privilege. Dedication will always outshine expectation. We live in a time that asks more of us, a world full of noise, distraction, judgment, and endless comparison. It's so easy to wonder if you're enough. It's so tempting to conform, to hide your spark, to do what's safe. But safety never made history. Caution never changed the course of anything. If you want to lead, to build, to matter, you must choose the harder path, the bolder path. You must strive not for attention but for mastery, because mastery cannot be denied. The truth is, greatness doesn't announce itself with applause. It arrives quietly, in early mornings and late nights, in repetition, in sacrifice, in choosing consistency over comfort. It comes from doing the work no one sees, until the result is so undeniable that even the loudest critics fall silent. You cannot wait for someone to discover you. You cannot sit for permission. The world respects those who have proven they deserve to be at the table, not those who demand a seat without putting in the work. So I say this to every young person with a dream in their heart: stop waiting, begin now, show up when it's difficult, push harder when it gets tiring. Be so good that they are forced to rewrite the rules, because you shattered the limits they set for you. There will always be someone more connected, more experienced, more favored. But never underestimate the fire of someone with relentless focus. Never doubt the force of someone who is willing to outlearn, outwork, and outlast. You do not have to be the most gifted. You only have to be the most determined. We speak often of talent, but talent is not enough. What you do with that talent, that is what defines you. Your craft, your mission, your contribution to the world, none of it grows without effort. What good is potential if it is never turned into impact? Do not simply wish to be impressive. Be effective, be indispensable, be precise, be prepared. Every single day, sharpen your tools. Every single day, train your mind, your voice, your spirit, until your performance makes the world stop and say, "Who is that?" That is what it means to be so good they can't ignore you. I know it's hard. I know there are days you feel invisible. Days when it seems like all your effort goes unnoticed, when others are rewarded for shortcuts and surface. But let them take the shortcuts. Let them chase quick wins. You are building something real, and real is rare. It is seen not in moments but in momentum. Keep showing up with excellence, even when no one's watching, especially when no one's watching, because that is when legends are made. You must learn to embrace the grind, the unglamorous work, the quiet repetition. That is where greatness is born. And the moment you fall in love with the process, not the prize, you become unstoppable. You no longer perform for applause. You perform from power. Remember, you do not need validation to be valuable. Your worth is not dependent on trends, on social media, on the temporary attention of others. You were not born to follow the noise. You were born to rise above it, to create a sound of your own, to stand not in the center of the crowd, but at the edge of greatness. And to do that you must outgrow the need to be liked, and focus on becoming legendary. Excellence is lonely sometimes. The road is narrow. But you do not need a crowd when you have conviction. You do not need approval when you have a mission. It is better to be respected than liked. It is better to be trusted than followed. And it is far better to be counted on than to be popular. People will underestimate you. That is your gift. Let them doubt you. Let them ignore you. Let them say you're not ready, not right, not realistic. Then prove them wrong with your performance. Show them that their opinions are background noise to your destiny. Show them what it means to be excellent without exception. And be warned, when you do become good, when your brilliance starts to rise, some will try to diminish it. They will say you are lucky, or arrogant, or too ambitious. Smile. Let them speak. You do not owe them your light in whispers. Shine anyway. Rise anyway. Speak anyway. Work in silence and let your results make the loudest sound in the room. The power of discipline is this: when others are distracted, you are focused. When others quit, you continue. When others forget why they started, you remind yourself every day. Passion is the fuel, but discipline is the engine. Use both, and never confuse movement with progress. It is not enough to be busy, you must be deliberate. You must train your mind like an athlete trains their body. Every day, every choice, building mental strength, emotional intelligence, and the kind of self-respect that cannot be taken. You will be tempted by ease, by imitation, by the illusion of fast success. Resist it. Stay true to your craft, to your character, to your standards. Do not water yourself down to fit in. Do not lower your bar to be accepted. Keep your standards high, and one day you will look back and thank yourself for never settling. This world does not need more noise, it needs more excellence. Not more fame but more purpose. Not more followers but more leaders. You become that leader by doing the things others avoid. Taking responsibility, learning from failure, speaking with integrity, and delivering results, even when it's hard. Leadership is not about titles, it's about trust, it's about impact, it's about showing up, day after day, without shortcuts, without excuses, and doing the work that others avoid. That is how you build a name that carries weight. That is how you build a life of meaning, not just motion. Whatever your dream is, whether it lies in science, in music, in entrepreneurship, in diplomacy, in medicine, in teaching, or in art, you must become so good at it that your presence elevates the entire field. Learn more, practice more, fail more, improve more. Keep going until your name is synonymous with excellence. That is how you become unforgettable. Be humble enough to listen. Be bold enough to speak. Be wise enough to know when to stay silent. Learn from those ahead of you. Help those beside you. Lead those behind you. And always rise with grace. Because true greatness isn't loud. It's consistent. It's quiet confidence. It's dignity. It's strength without ego. Power without cruelty. Excellence without arrogance. In your pursuit of greatness, do not forget who you are. Never lose your values. They are your compass when the spotlight blinds you. They are your anchor when success tempts you to forget what matters. Be kind, be just, be principled. For if you gain the world but lose your integrity, you have gained nothing. There is a strength in you that has not yet been seen, a brilliance that the world needs. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be fearless. You only have to be willing to do the work, to face the fire, to rise above excuses and doubts and prove that you belong. Not because you said so, but because you became undeniable. Your name, your reputation, your influence, it will not be given. It must be earned, brick by brick, day by day, choice by choice, until one day the world turns, notices, and says that one. We cannot ignore them, not because you demanded attention, but because you became the standard. Be so good, they can't ignore you. And when they finally look your way, when the world finally notices what you've built, what you've become, stand tall, not with pride, but with purpose. Because by then you won't need applause, you'll already have made your mark. And that mark will speak louder than any praise ever could.